Hello, everyone. Settle in and let this story unfold. Moments that'll pull at your heartstrings and keep you hooked. It was a brutally cold winter in Los Angeles, in a third-floor apartment of an old, creaky building, 45-year-old air conditioning. Technician Joseph Walker tossed on his squeaky iron bed. A faint, dry cough from the room next door jolted him awake. "Lucy," he called softly. No answer. Lucy Walker, his 14-year-old daughter. Her long, dark hair, once neatly tied every morning for school, was now a tangled mess. Her bright, round eyes, eerily like her late mother Mary's, were now perpetually tired, shadowed with gloom. Joseph pushed open her door and stepped inside. In the dim hallway light, Lucy was curled up facing the wall, her skin pale, almost gray. "You okay?" he asked, easing onto the edge of her bed. Lucy nodded without turning. "I'm fine, Dad. Just tired from studying a lot." Joseph's voice hardened. "What kind of studying makes your grades tank like this? I just checked your report card." Lucy stayed still. "I'll try harder." Joseph sighed. For over a week he'd sensed something was off. She'd wake, up in the middle of the night startled, once even screaming, clutching her head to calm herself. She'd claim she was full after barely eating. Her pale complexion, cracked lips, and that haunting look in her eyes, it broke his heart every time. Since the 2020 car accident that took Mary's life, Joseph had been both mom and dad. He'd learned to braid Lucy's hair, cook her favorite noodles, and button her shirts before school. He'd thought he was managing okay, but now it felt like everything was unraveling. The next morning at a small bar in East LA, Joseph met his old trade school buddy, Thomas. "You've lost weight, man," Thomas said, pouring coffee. "Still, losing sleep over work." "It's Lucy," Joseph said, resting his head in his hand. "She's changed, like she's someone else." Thomas frowned. "She say anything?" "Just that it's from studying too much. But I don't buy it. I saw bruises on her wrist once. When I asked, she laughed it off, said it was nothing." Thomas leaned in. "You think she's being abused?" "I don't know," Joseph said, staring at his untouched coffee. "All I know is I'm scared, terrified." Thomas stayed quiet, then lowered his voice. "If you're that worried, put up cameras. I know a guy, Michael, who sets up security systems for offices. Just one in the hallway, one in her room, someplace discreet. Not to spy on her, but to protect her. You know how rough LA's gotten." That night, after Lucy left for tutoring and hadn't come back, Joseph got the camera kit from Michael. Carefully, he installed one high in the hallway to her room and another hidden in a light fixture above her bed. No guilt. No shame for invading her privacy. Just a rising panic, like a tide crushing his chest. At 1 a.m., Joseph was still awake. Lucy had come home, eaten a cold dinner in silence as usual, and shut her door without a word. At 2:10 a.m., a faint noise snapped him awake. He checked the hallway. Empty. Lucy's door was closed. Pressing his ear to it, he heard a soft click, like a window latch. He opened the monitoring app on his phone. Black and white footage loaded. Lucy in a black hoodie, hair tied back, quietly opening her window and slipping onto the balcony. The timestamp read 1:48 a.m. "Oh, God," Joseph whispered, fists clenching. Minutes later, a figure in a black jacket and motorcycle helmet appeared, waiting by a bike. Lucy ran over, climbed on, and they vanished into the night. Joseph couldn't breathe. He collapsed to the floor, hands shaking. The next morning, when Lucy returned near 5 a.m., Joseph pretended to be asleep. His mind swirled. Who was that guy? Where'd she go? What's she doing? Why the bruises? Why that hopeless look in her eyes? He checked the camera data again. Over the past 30 days, the same pattern repeated 22 times. That evening at dinner, Joseph faced Lucy. "Where were you at 1:48 a.m. last night?" Lucy's eyes widened, startled. "Dad, what are you talking about?" "I saw you climb out the window. I put up a camera." Her chopsticks clattered to the table, face paling. "You were spying on me?" "Yes, because I'm scared. I already lost your mom. I'm not losing you too." Lucy burst into tears, covering her face, shaking her head, but said nothing. "She's going through something," said Mr. Raymond, the downstairs neighbor and retired security guard, after Joseph shared the situation. "I've seen her come, home late, eyes red, walking unsteady." Joseph stayed silent. Raymond sighed. "Don't push too hard. That girl's already hurting." That night, Joseph lay awake, phone in hand, heart pounding like a stormy sea. Part of him wanted to kick down Lucy's door and demand answers, but a stronger part warned, if you mess this up, you'll lose her forever. 2 days later, while Lucy was at school, Joseph sat in the living room, eyes glued to his laptop. He opened each saved video clip, hands trembling. Timestamp, 1:48 a.m. Lucy slipped out the window again, black jacket on. A man in a face mask waited by the motorcycle. She climbed on, hugged him, and they disappeared into LA's darkness. "Who the hell is that?" Joseph muttered through gritted teeth. He fast-forwarded. At 4:27 a.m., the motorcycle returned. Lucy stumbled off, bracing against the wall. A deep, purple bruise marked her left wrist. She unlocked the balcony door, entered her room, collapsed on the floor, then crawled into bed. Joseph froze. The images stabbed his heart. No way. She's only 14. He opened the past month's folder. Every sneak out between 1:30 and 2 a.m. matched perfectly. 22 times. Unable to take it, Joseph slammed his hand on the table. He grabbed his phone. "Thomas, it's me. I need your help again. I gotta find out who that guy is. I need to know everything." "Calm down. What's going on?" "She's not just sneaking out. Someone's taking her. And when she comes back, she's covered in bruises. I've got video. I need the truth, Thomas." "All right, listen. I know a private investigator, Lewis, ex-cop. I'll get you his number. But Joseph, don't do anything stupid, okay? I can't sit here while someone's hurting my daughter." That evening, when Lucy came home, Joseph kept his tone neutral. "You eat dinner yet?" "Yeah, had a sandwich at school. How about I drive you to school tomorrow?" Lucy shook her head. "No need. I'm going with a friend." "Which friend?" She paused. Laura, from math class." Joseph nodded, eyes locked on her face. That night, he reviewed another video. Lucy sat on her bed, opened her phone, and listened to a voice message through headphones. He couldn't hear it, but afterward she buried her face in a pillow, crying quietly. Joseph stared at the screen, lips pressed so tight they bled. The next morning, he met Lewis, the private investigator Thomas recommended, at a cafe in East Hollywood. Lewis, about 50, lean with a cold, stony face, said, "You got a video? Show me." Joseph opened his laptop. Lewis watched Lucy sneak out, ride off on the bike, and return bruised. After 5 minutes, he nodded. "Enough to raise suspicion. I'll track the bike's route if you've got footage of the area below the balcony." "I've got it all. What else do you need?" "A name, a face, common locations. Once I have that, I'll tell you what your daughter's caught up in." "How long?" "Give me a week." "But Joseph," Lewis looked him dead in the eyes, "if the truth's worse than you expect, you ready to face it?" Joseph clenched his fists. "I lost my wife. I can't lose my daughter too." 3 days later, Lewis called, urgency in his voice. "You free? Come with me tonight. I followed them 3 nights. But you need to be ready." That night they wore face masks and baseball caps, tailing a black motorcycle with LA plate 325 GXC. It stopped at a small bar with a red sign. "The Red Garden Bar." Lewis whispered, "This place is known for middle-aged guys. There's a checkpoint at the entrance. I'll follow you in. Act like a regular. Don't raise suspicion." Joseph swallowed hard. He stepped through the red wooden door, met by flickering yellow lights and the heavy stench of booze and smoke. A large, balding man in his 40s eyed him. "Got an appointment?" "James sent me. Said this place has a good vibe." The man studied him, then nodded. "Sit over there." Joseph moved quietly. Inside, loud music pulsed under garish lights. Young girls in skimpy uniforms drifted between tables, pouring drinks, forcing smiles. Then he saw her, Lucy, head down, holding a liquor bottle, pouring for a middle-aged man with a red face and slurred words. "Come on, sweetheart. Give me a smile. Who taught you to frown like that?" Lucy looked nervous, stepping back. The man laughed and yanked her sleeve. She dropped the bottle. It shattered, freezing the room. A fat, bald man in a white dress shirt stormed from behind the bar. "What the hell was that?" he shouted. Lucy bowed her head. "I'm sorry, Lawrence," another girl whispered to Joseph. "That's the manager. Cross him, and you won't walk out alive." Lawrence glared at Joseph, sensing his stare, and marched over. "New here? You look familiar. Just checking the place out." "Seems lively," Joseph said, staying calm. "If you're just looking, watch where your eyes go. This is a discreet place. We don't like staring." Lawrence sneered, then turned away. Lucy was pulled backstage by another girl. Before disappearing, she caught Joseph's eye, her face a mix of shock, fear, and heartbreak. Joseph turned away, hands clenched so tight his nails broke skin. Lewis approached, pretending to order, "A beer. Get out. Don't let him remember your face." Outside, Joseph leaned against the wall, pale. Lewis lit a cigarette, silent. Finally, he said, "You get it now, don't you? She didn't go there willingly, but if this gets investigated, he'll claim she consented. Current laws don't protect 14-year-olds without clear proof of coercion." Joseph closed his eyes. "I have to save her, whatever it takes." 2 days later, Joseph called in sick for his maintenance shift at St. Mary's Medical Center. He hadn't slept. The images replayed. Lucy's frightened eyes, her bruised hand, Lawrence's threats. His daughter was serving drinks to grown men in a secret bar. He sat in the tiny kitchen watching the video again, each viewing clawed at his insides. Lucy never deserved this. At 12:45 a.m., he put on an old jacket, a baseball cap, and a mask. He slipped a mini chest-mounted camera from Lewis into his shirt. He also brought a small knife, not to use but to remind himself, no backing down. On his phone, he watched Lucy prepare to leave her room. 1:41 a.m. She climbed out the window and descended quietly. Joseph stood under the apartment stairwell, heart pounding. The same masked young man picked her up on the motorcycle. "Damn it, it's him," Joseph growled. He followed on the night bus, Lewis tracking the GPS. The bike veered into East Hollywood, where shady bars hid illegal operations all night. At 2:12 a.m., Joseph stood across from the Red Garden Bar, its red neon sign glowing dimly. "Just once, I need to see it once," he muttered. Inside, loud music slammed his ears. The air reeked of smoke and cheap wine. The room was dark, a few tables still occupied. Young girls in short red skirts and white tops moved like sad puppets. Lucy stood by the bar, face bare, eyes lifeless. A man, about 50, sat beside her, chuckling. "Come on, sweetheart, don't frown. Smile and I'll tip you $5. Lucy poured his drink, eyes averted. The man's hand slid to her waist. She flinched. "Heard you're new. New girls are always the tastiest." Joseph's fists clenched, eyes blazing. A girl, about 16, with curled reddish-brown hair approached. "First time here, I'm Martha." "Yeah, first time. Want to pick someone? I can take you to a private booth." Joseph gritted his teeth. "The girl in the corner, what's her name?" Martha glanced over, then shook her head. "Don't mess with her. Lawrence locked her up all night yesterday for refusing a client." "What?" Martha whispered. "Her name's Lucy. Looks young but tough. Still, after enough threats, she's tame as a puppy. Manager puts up cameras, records, them serving clients, then threatens to leak the footage online. Happens to all of them." Joseph's world spun. He started toward Lucy, but Lawrence appeared, sneering. "Always interested in that one, huh? Problem?" She just looked familiar. Nothing's familiar here. One rule: no questions, no staring, no touching unless you pay. Joseph stepped back, forcing calm. He needed patience. He had to capture this. At 2:43 a.m., a salt-and-pepper-haired man in a suit walked in, nodded at Lawrence, and pointed to Lucy. She stepped forward, forcing a smile as she poured his drink. But when he whispered in her ear, her face paled. And she stepped back. He grabbed her wrist. I already paid. Don't want to do it? I'll call Lawrence. Lucy trembled. Please don't. I only serve drinks. You don't make the rules. He yanked her to sit beside him, his hand creeping up her thigh. Joseph stood, gripping the chest camera. He staggered out, gasping for air. A male server, about 30, passed. Need water? Joseph steadied himself. Is this place licensed? The man snorted. Licenses here are for wiping your mouth. Joseph left the bar like a drowning man. Outside, a light drizzle fell. Lewis waited in the car. You get it on camera? Yes. Clear face, clear audio. Good. But don't go to the cops yet. If Lawrence has connections, they'll bury it. Joseph's teeth clenched, lips bleeding. I have to save her, even if it kills me. The next morning, Lucy ate breakfast silently. Joseph kept his tone light. Sleep okay? It was fine, she said, staring at her watery oatmeal. I've got a late shift tonight. New company's AC system. I'll be back late. Lucy nodded. No questions. As she locked her door, Joseph turned to Thomas, standing in the hallway, face tense. This isn't just your problem anymore, Thomas said. You need the press. Someone credible. Cops won't act without public pressure. Know anyone trustworthy? Thomas paused, then said, Claire Morgan, investigative reporter for LE. Diario. She exposed that underage bar ring in El Paso, took down the whole network. Joseph nodded. Give me her number. In his mind, Lucy's innocent laugh echoed. A spring afternoon long ago. Daddy, I want to be an artist. I want to paint the whole world. Now, she didn't even dare draw herself. The next afternoon, Joseph met Lewis at Sunlight Alley Cafe in Boyle Heights. Lewis slid a brown envelope across the table, eyes on his coffee. His name's Evan Grant, 19, dropped out at 16. Arrested once for luring a 13-year-old in Tucson. Got off because his family hired a hotshot lawyer who buried the evidence. His reputation's trash. Joseph opened the file, hands shaking. Blurry photos showed Evan, long brown hair, earrings, a cunning look, near Union Station where students pass by. Lewis continued. He approached Lucy at exit 4. His trick, drop sheet music, acts like a struggling artist who quit violin to care for his sick mom. Joseph exhaled bitterly. The classic pity play. Lewis nodded. I've got audio of him sweet-talking another girl. Fake charm, then pulling her into this special Bond fantasy. Once Lucy trusted him, he spun a story about owing $10,000 to the mafia, said he'd be beaten to death if he didn't pay. Joseph gripped the file. And my daughter thinks she's saving her boyfriend. Lewis put a hand on his shoulder. He's a parasite, preys on girls without parents or who've been through trauma. Lucy lost her mom, she's vulnerable, he saw his shot. Joseph growled, if I get my hands on him, I'll... Lewis cut him off. Killing him's easy, but Lucy'd lose everything. You need evidence, a solid plan. That night, Joseph sat alone, phone screen casting shadows on his gaunt face. He played Lewis's audio. Lucy, I'm sorry, but if I don't get the money, they'll kill me. You don't get it. You've got your dad. You're all I've got. I'll do anything. I don't want to lose you. There's this place. Easy work. Just serving drinks, listening to music. You could really help me. Just a few weeks. Lucy's voice, fragile as a leaf. I trust you. I'll try. Something shattered inside Joseph. He felt himself breaking apart. The next day, Thomas arrived with a newspaper. You see this? He slammed it down. Evan's tied to an underground music station in downtown LA. Cops busted one, but he walked. Lack of evidence. He's a snake, Joseph growled. I want him on video. Taking money. I'll bait him myself. Thomas hesitated. You sure this isn't too dangerous? Dangerous is letting her keep going back there. Dangerous is not knowing if she's still alive. That night, Joseph wore a long coat, glasses, and a mini camera pinned to his shirt button. Lewis parked a surveillance car near the bar. Inside, Evan laughed with Lawrence at the counter, cocky in a leather jacket, smoking. Joseph sat nearby, placing a recorder on the chair beside him. You said that girl's real obedient? Lawrence asked, glancing around. Piece of cake, Evan said. She cried last night when I told her I might quit. A lovesick kid. Nothing's easier to control, Lawrence scoffed, handing Evan an envelope. Don't let her talk. If the press shows up, I'll wipe everything and pin it on you. Relax. I told her I owe the mafia. She's terrified they'll kill me. Joseph's hands shook around his glass, fury coursing through him. A server, Samuel, the Colombian from the night before, whispered, Careful. Lawrence has someone. Watching the entrance. Anyone suspicious disappears. Joseph nodded. Thanks, I'll be careful. You're her father, aren't you? Samuel's voice trembled. Yes. My sister was tricked by someone like Evan. Nearly killed herself. If you need a witness, I'll testify. Joseph nodded, overcome. What's your name? Samuel. Morgan, my sister's Paige. I'll help. On the way home, Joseph replayed the recording. Evan and Lawrence's casual, shameless voices, taking pleasure in a child's suffering, made his blood run cold. At home, Lucy was asleep. Joseph stood outside her door. Through the crack, he saw her curled up, hugging a pillow, eyes shut, tight. Her school books lay open, handwriting trailing off mid-sentence. I will save you, he whispered, even if I have to burn those devils to the ground. The next morning, he handed Lewis the new recordings. Lewis reviewed them. That's enough. Indirect confession, footage of Evan taking money, a potential witness. But we can't go straight to court. Cops will bury it. We need the press. Make it loud so they can't ignore it. Claire Morgan? Yes, I contacted her. She'll meet you tomorrow night. Joseph nodded, eyes burning with a storm ready to erupt. That afternoon, Lucy came home from school. Joseph waited at the door, his face calm but still like a lake before a thunderstorm. Lucy took off her shoes, hung her backpack, and headed to the kitchen. You eaten? Joseph asked, pouring water. No, sir. Her voice was hoarse, tired. He set the glass down and sat. Can you be honest with me? Lucy froze. About what? I know you didn't go there willingly. I know Lawrence has cameras. I know they're threatening you with footage. I know you're scared. Lucy trembled, lips tight. Tears came, her voice cracking. If they released that video, I wouldn't survive. When did they film it? The first night. I thought I was just pouring drinks, but a man touched me. I tried to push him away. They dragged me into a room. I don't remember everything, just red lights and a camera. Joseph's fists, clenched, knuckles white. They did that to a 14-year-old. Lawrence said if I talked, the video'd go to school, online. Mom would be ashamed if she were alive. You'd lose your job. They'd kill us both. No one has the right to destroy you, Lucy, she sobbed, burying her face in her hands. I'm sorry. I just wanted to help Evan. I was stupid. Joseph pulled her into his arms, throat burning, heart frozen. The next morning, he gave Lewis a USB with the clearest clips of Lucy leaving and returning bruised. What's the plan? Lewis asked, sipping black coffee. Give it to the police. Lewis frowned. I warned you. They won't act without public pressure. I have to try. If they ignore it, I'll have a reason to expose them later. At the Jefferson Avenue police station, Officer Teresa Reed, about 30, calm and administrative, took his report. What crime are you reporting? Minor exploitation, blackmail via recording, forced labor. Victim's name? Lucy Walker, 14. My daughter. Suspects? Lawrence, owner of the Red Garden Bar, and Evan Grant, who lured her in. Teresa paused. Lucy lives with you? Yes. Has she clearly stated she was forced? Joseph clenched his fists. She's traumatized. I have video, her sneaking out, coming back bruised and terrified. He handed her the USB. Teresa scrubbed through the footage, then shook her head. Mr. Walker, under U.S. law from age 14, we can't prosecute for exploitation without clear evidence of coercion. There's no explicit criminal act here. No formal accusation from her. No footage of coercion or blackmail. He threatened to leak the video. If she speaks, they'll destroy her. Teresa shrugged. We can't act on assumptions. If you have Lawrence's footage, submit it. I don't. He has it. He's using it to blackmail her. Then I'm sorry. We can't open an investigation based on indirect statements. Joseph shot to his feet, voice shaking. So if a child secretly filmed being abused, you wait till it's online before acting? Teresa replied coldly, I'm following protocol. Get more evidence. Come back. Lewis pulled Joseph outside. Joseph punched the wall. Bastards in uniforms quoting regulations like robots. Lewis sighed. I told you. They protect the powerful and break parents like you. I won't stay quiet. That night, Joseph found Lucy curled in her room, hugging a pillow, eyes blank. He sat beside her. I went to the police. They refused. Said, you consented. Said there's not enough evidence. That a 14-year-old doesn't deserve protection unless she begs for it. A tear slid down Lucy's cheek. So, I'm the one at fault. No, you're a victim. You're my daughter. Lucy whispered, if I didn't exist, things would be easier. Joseph gasped, pulling her close. Don't say that. You're why I'm still breathing. You'll hate me if you know what I've done. I only hate those who made you suffer. That night, after Lucy slept, Joseph pored over every clip, audio, and note, crafting a plan. The police wouldn't act. He would, with everything he had. At 2:17 a.m., rain fell over L.A., seeping through cracks and door frames. Joseph sat in the living room, replaying videos, eyes bloodshot. Each time Lucy slipped out into the night, his heart broke again. Suddenly, running water came from the bathroom, unusual for that hour. Joseph frowned. Lucy never showered this late. He hurried to the partially open door. Pale light spilled out. He pushed it open, and his breath stopped. Lucy sat on the floor, leaning against the sink, clothes soaked, hair plastered to her face, water mixed with blood on the tiles. Her left wrist bled, deep, fresh, wide. Lucy! Joseph screamed, rushing to hold her. She opened her eyes faintly. I'm sorry. If you knew what I've done, you'd hate me. No, never. He pressed a towel to her wound, hands shaking. You've done nothing wrong. He scooped her up, her blood staining his sleeves, and ran, shouting, Help! Someone call an ambulance! Downstairs, Mr. Raymond opened his door, alarmed. What happened? She tried to kill herself. I need to get her to the hospital. Raymond grabbed his coat. My car's in the garage, go. In the car, Joseph held Lucy, whispering, You'll be okay. I'm here. At St. Vincent Medical Center, doctors wheeled Lucy into emergency care. Joseph stood frozen, blood-soaked, staring at the closed doors. Dr. Helen Monroe, hair tied back, approached. Are you Lucy Walker's father? Yes. Is she okay? We've stopped the bleeding. The cut was deep but not life-threatening. But we suspect this wasn't her first attempt. We found older scratches on her right wrist, likely from sharp objects. Her mental state's fragile. I recommend transferring her to the pediatric psych ward for observation. Joseph nodded mechanically. Do whatever she needs. A psychologist, Isabel Roberts, arrived. About 40, her voice was calm but firm. Mr. Walker, I'll need to speak with Lucy privately later. But first, do you suspect she's been abused? Not at home, but out there people have destroyed her. Joseph recounted everything, voice breaking, hands trembling. Isabel listened without interrupting. When he finished, she nodded. I believe you. I'll write a full report. But without legal action, those people will walk free. So what do I do? Document everything. Threats, payments, words. Then go public. When the pressure's loud enough, the law listens. That evening, Lucy woke, eyes hazy. Joseph held her hand. I'm here, sweetheart. Can you hear me? She nodded faintly. Why, baby, why'd you do it? I was tired. I couldn't take it anymore. Every time I open my eyes, I'm scared. At school, I feel ashamed. I'm scared people will find out. No one has the right to make you feel dirty. You did nothing wrong. The people who hurt you should be ashamed. You won't leave me, will you? I lost your mom. I swear I won't lose you. The next day, Joseph visited a pharmacy near the hospital for hidden recording equipment. The clerk, Victor Nelson, listened to his brief explanation and pulled out a pouch. This is a button camera, HD, records to a memory card, built-in mic, up to 3 hours. I'll take 2. What are you planning? I'm confronting Lawrence. I'm recording everything, threats, payments. I won't let my daughter die for nothing. Victor softened. My sister died from something similar. If you need anything, come to me. That night, Joseph sewed the cameras into his shirt buttons, practiced speaking, tested angles and audio. The image of Lucy on the bathroom floor haunted him, blood and water spreading like an unhealing wound. Lewis called. You sure about this? I don't have a choice. Be careful. Lawrence has eyes everywhere. If he suspects you, then at least I'll die as a father who didn't back down. Lewis paused. I'll wait outside. Any signal, I'm coming in. At 2:00 a.m., the Red Garden bar glowed. Joseph entered like a regular. Lawrence laughed with a blonde man at the bar. Joseph took a table, pressed the record button, and sat still, camera rolling, eyes scanning like a hunter. 2:11 a.m., Lawrence emerged from the back holding an envelope, eyes icy. Evan swirled a glass of cheap wine, smirking. Joseph hit the audio recorder. The camera had 40 minutes down, an hour left. Lawrence set the envelope down, voice low but clear. 15 shifts, right? Evan laughed. Missing 2, but I added, extra. She's been obedient. Real obedient. Lawrence sneered. Old man last night was thrilled. She didn't even dare cry. 1 threat, and she's like a puppy. You still got the first clip? Of course. Got several. Her shaking when the guy touched her leg. Joseph's jaw spasmed, hand gripping the table. Lawrence glanced around. But careful. That kid's close to breaking. I saw her crying in the bathroom last night. If she breaks, I'll wipe everything. Disappear from LA. What about you? I've got insurance. If anyone squeals, their family's tabloid fodder. I can fake it, say. She sent the videos herself. People will believe it instantly. Joseph trembled. That last line shattered his patience. He stood, nodded subtly to Lewis in the corner, who typed a message on his phone. Lucy emerged, tray of drinks shaking in her hands. A pot-bellied man at table 5 waved her over. Hey, baby, show me a smile. Lucy's smile was crooked, painful. The man pulled her into his lap. She froze, eyes pleading silently. Joseph pulled out his phone, faking a call. Yeah, I'm outside. Meet me at the car. He walked out fast. Lewis followed, nodding. We got it. Clear video, clean audio. I'm sending it to Claire. We can't wait. The next morning, Joseph, in a gray coat, met Claire Morgan at the Independent Tribune headquarters. Claire, about 40, short hair, sharp eyes, shook his hand. You're Joseph Walker, Lucy's father? Yes, and I'm giving you everything. He placed 3 USB drives on the table, along with photos, notes, and a detailed report. Claire plugged in a USB, watched a clip. In 2 minutes, her brow furrowed. This is Lawrence's confession and Evan taking money. You've got voices, faces, times, places. Publish it as soon as possible. You know how dangerous this is, right? I don't care about safety. I care about keeping my daughter alive. Claire nodded. I'll talk to editorial tonight. The article drops Monday morning, but there'll be pushback. They'll deny it, sue us. You ready? If needed, hide our identities. No, Joseph said. I want people to know. I'm her father. I won't let her be discarded. Claire looked at him. Some people stay silent their whole lives. You've made the system shake in days. I don't want them to shake. I want them to fall. On the way home, Joseph stopped by the hospital. Lucy was sketching, but bit her lip and looked away when she saw him. He sat beside her, taking her hand. I submitted the evidence. The article's out Monday. Lucy gripped her notebook. They'll find out. Will they punish those people? Yes. But what matters is you're alive. You're human. Tears streamed down Lucy's cheeks. I'm sorry. Don't. You've got nothing to be sorry for. Monday morning, headlines screamed, "Father exposes underage exploitation ring in Los Angeles." Suspect identities revealed. The police couldn't ignore it. Within 24 hours, an investigation reopened. The footage was verified. Arrest warrants were issued for Lawrence Martin and Evan Grant. Charges of organizing minor exploitation, blackmail via recorded footage, and witness intimidation. The Red Garden Bar was shuttered. A nighttime raid uncovered 14 girls under 17, forced to work in inhumane conditions. As handcuffs clicked on Lawrence's wrists, he shouted at the journalists, "I've got people backing me. You'll regret this." Officer Teresa Reed, who dismissed Joseph's report, replied sternly, "It's all out now. You'll be the one regretting it." 3 months later, spring arrived softly in Los Angeles, bringing sunshine and gentle breezes. Joseph took Lucy far from the city's smoke, traffic, and dark memories. They moved to Pine Valley, a small village 60 miles from the capital with clean air, morning birdsong, and red dirt paths winding through olive fields. Joseph sold his old tools, leaving his 20-year career as an air conditioning technician. The modest sale, plus a child protection grant, let them live simply in a rented house with a red-tiled roof and windows facing the San Gabriel Mountains. That morning, Lucy sat on the porch with a blank sketchbook. At 14, she was thinner, but her eyes had changed, no longer filled with fear, now calm, showing signs of healing. Joseph brought 2 cups of hot cocoa. "What's the special dish today?" he asked, smiling softly. Lucy looked up, lips curling. "You said stir-fried chicken with mushrooms yesterday. And the day before." "I'm still training. Gotta get it right eventually." Lucy giggled, a sound Joseph thought he'd never hear again. "Dad?" "Yes, sweetheart? Did you really quit being a repairman?" "Yep. Now I'm a full-time chef and part-time mailman for the village." Lucy rested her head on her knees, voice soft. "I'm sorry for making you give up so much." Joseph touched her shoulder. "You didn't make me do anything. I chose this. I'd choose it again." One afternoon, Lucy walked to Joseph in the backyard where he was pulling weeds. "Dad, I drew something." He wiped his hands and took her sketchbook. On the first page, a black and white pencil drawing. A little girl curled up in the rain, hair soaked, eyes downcast. Above her, a middle-aged man, slightly hunched, held an umbrella over her. The rain no longer touched her. At the bottom, in small italic letters, Lucy wrote, "Thank you for not giving up on me." Joseph stared, eyes reddening, speechless. Lucy lowered her head. "It's not that good. No, it's beautiful. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I just wanted you to know I'm grateful." Joseph nodded, voice trembling. "And you should know something. From now on, whenever it rains, I'll run to you with an umbrella. No matter where you are." A week later, a letter came from Claire Morgan. "Dear Mr. Walker, the investigation's ongoing. Lawrence and Evan are detained awaiting trial. Your footage was key, rescuing 14 girls, including Paige, Samuel's sister. Lives were saved because you didn't give up." Lucy read it silently, then whispered, "Dad, is it true many people were saved?" "Yes. And one of them is you." A tear rolled down Lucy's cheek, a single clear drop, like spring rain on an old tile roof. Weeks later, Dr. Isabel Roberts visited, monitoring Lucy since her psych ward stay. "She's making great progress," she told Joseph. "There are still wounds, but she's not avoiding things anymore. She's telling stories about her mom, school, afternoons eating ice cream at Echo Park. Today she talked about wanting to be an artist." Joseph smiled. "She used to say that, but it got crushed by those monsters." "Not crushed," Isabel said. "Just folded for a while. Now it's unfolding." Lucy stepped into the backyard, seeing Isabel photographing a lavender bush. "Miss Isabel?" "Yes, sweetie? I finished a drawing. Want to see?" Isabel smiled. "I'd love to." Lucy opened her sketchbook. A sunlit field, a house with green vines, 2 figures in a garden, a father and a girl. Their hands didn't touch, but their shadows did. That evening, Joseph and Lucy walked the village path. Olive trees rustled. Goats' bells clinked in the distance. "Dad, do you regret leaving LA?" Joseph looked at the sky, sunlight streaming through leaves and golden beams. "I didn't leave anything behind. I brought the only thing that mattered." "What's that?" "You." Lucy held his hand tightly, saying nothing more. But that silence said everything. In their small room, Joseph taped Lucy's umbrella drawing to the wall with 4 pieces of tape. It didn't need a frame, just a place in the sacred corner of his heart. Under the desk lamp, the small sentence glowed. "Thank you for not giving up on me." Joseph and Lucy's story reminds us, when adults stay silent, evil grows. But if one father refuses to give up, a single light can pierce the darkest night. Perseverance, love, and courage are the strongest weapons to protect voiceless children. The legal system may drag, but once truth breaks through, it's a wave no one can stop. Never give up. Someone out there needs you to stand for them. If this story touched you, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Your support keeps us sharing heartwarming stories nearly every day. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.